If you've been following me on Twitch for a while, then you know 3 friends and I are on a slow burn playthrough of Divinity Original Sin 2. You may also be aware we're nearing the end of that journey, with the endgame mere hours away. After a lengthy play session where we stole from and effectively bitch-slapped half the population of Arcs, we got to talking about what our next adventure together might be. Baldur's Gate 3 Early Access isn't far off, but we wanted something we could play together or individually. That's when the phrase MMO came up. Tentatively, we discussed the subject. MMOs were always held in an almost exotic regard for me, something I've always wanted to get into but was never quite brave enough to try. Sort of like pegging. Oh, one moment. That's better. I was afraid an MMO might harm my productivity, sucking me into a constant grind for levels and loot as we slaughtered our way through this new realm. Tarkov had already done as much, and Tarkov as a gaming experience is far more hardcore and detrimental to my psyche. However, while the world outside looks less like this, and more like this, thanks to the general fucky wucky that is 2020, I don't think I'll be venturing outdoors much. This left us, collectively, with more time to take on an MMO. After some research, we settled on Final Fantasy XIV. Tom and Niall had experience with the game. By sheer luck, patch 5.3 just dropped, which streamlined the main story quests, removed caps on the free trial, and apparently increased experience gains up to level 60, but since I never played before I can't tell the difference. And you can run all classes on one character and swap between them on the fly, so long as you're not in combat. We dove straight in. If you don't know, Final Fantasy XIV is a waifu simulator where you look for gear that has both higher numbers and matches your player waifu's aesthetic. When you're not doing those things, you're questing through the land of Eorzea, generally slaughtering anything any random person asks you to, especially if they're offering you gear. After playing a solo gladiator to level 9, Tom's download finished, and off-stream we played for a few hours. Allow me to recap our progress. I chose Lancer because hitting things until they die is generally how I roll. Unless it's quick healing or flames from Skyrim, anything that utilizes mana as a resource confuses my poor little DPS brain. Tom chose Archer as our main class. We both started in Gridania thanks to our class choices, and we wrapped up this session around level 9, focusing on main story quests and class quests. On stream, we continued our class quests around Gridania. We met our respective guild rivals, like this edgelord. Yeah, nice OC, you Driss-looking wannabe. We got an unsolicited invitation to join a free company. We accepted the invite with some mild reservations, and when the free company chat started saying, "Hey, come to our estate and get free gifts," I immediately started thinking, oh good, a cult. Tom, being braver than I generally, took up the offer and made out with some free consumables and an absolutely hideous looking camel mount. I declined the gift because of the implication. The real good shit started when Eugene's download finally worked after several days of technical hell, only for his new character to get blocked due to high server populations. He came back later and finally joined us in Gridania as a conjurer. So Tom and I set about stalking him in New Gridania. This stalking backfired as he started flirting with my character, but she was quick to friendzone him. Niall, our marauder and tank, joined us in Gridania from whatever hole in the ground marauders come from. Seriously, I think these guys train by smashing beer cans against their heads. I did try leveling my archer class solo, something simple, just murder a few monkeys. On my way to their habitat, I came across a rather odd scene. Guys, I think I just found bots. Their names are complete gibberish, and they're using the default human character model. I hastened out of there. I'm not messing with whatever was going on here. After a calculated risk... Oh, I died. I became the first to die in our adventure. All because I initiated combat with a level 9 creature while my HP was at half, and I was level 6. This was the beginning of a worrying trend. We will see more of that soon. After that particular fiasco, we partied up to knock out some low-level quests in the North Shroud. When a big boy treant sapling harassed us near our target mobs, I discovered the joy of switching to my main class to slap that stunted ent into the ground.
I could be wrong though.
Is that treant aggroed on me?
I hope so.
Oh, fuck me, I'm out of here. After midnight and with work the next morning, I dipped. The next day we were back in, working hard toward reaching the first major milestone in our journey together. our first dungeon. We knew the first dungeon came from main story quest progress, so that's where our focus lay. When the MSQ brought me to this dude, I questioned whether I was playing Final Fantasy XIV or Kingdom Hearts. I was really looking forward to learning more about this mysterious character's background. What were his motivations? Why was he aligning with the Beast Tribes? Why was he dead set on seeing the Primals return to Eorzea and... Oh shit, we killed him. Alright then. Honestly, the details of the why of our adventuring are lost on me. Any dialogue that isn't accompanied by voice acting generally gets the QTE treatment from me.
Well, I think this is one of the bigger quests, because it has a...
There's a lot of important tasks to be done before the dungeon became available. The game just forced me into a cutscene to watch someone do an awkward dance. Fucking €12 a month for this shit? Are you fucking... Oh, I got the dance. I got a dance for doing a quest, guys. I got a dance. It doesn't boost my stats. It doesn't do fucking shit for me as far as making me a more effective killing machine or increasing my DPS. Just makes me look like I have fewer social skills than I already do. While I got there quickly, the others were still on their way to unlocking the dungeon itself, so I thought it best to do some solo questing while I waited for them to catch up. Oh shit. And so the trend continued. Thankfully, by this point we'd all caught up to It's Probably Pirates, the first dungeon quest of the game. We all grouped up on the dungeon entrance. Eventually, I mean. I'm a fiend for not attuning to aetheryte crystals, so I had to run all the way back. And then I saw a creature from my hunting log. One thing led to another. But now, it was time. The daunting entrance to the coastal caves of Cetacea lay before us. Armed with the knowledge of how to use the duty finder, we partied up, equipped our best gear, checked our rotations, and set forth for our first dungeon. As soon as we finish this fight anyway. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you expressed those feelings by clicking the like button. Ceres will appreciate it too, and you want to simp for Ceres, don't you? By the time I finished recording and editing this video, my character was already level 38, and I kind of put off putting this together purely because the game is just so fun. It has me in its embrace. I am like, Square, you can just take my money. Take my money. Just let me keep playing. Let me keep playing. There's mounts to unlock. Glamours to unlock. The game is good, folks. I haven't had this much fun with an MMO since I tried getting into WoW. And I tried getting into WoW a grand total of 4 times over, I'd say, about 15 years. And it never quite got me sucked in. I've already outpaced my WoW days with this game, and I've had it for a week and a half. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this journey.